Kia ora. In the news today, the Education Ministry is to receive $511 million extra funding over the next 4 years. Hekia Parata's pre-budget speech revealed details of sector reforms this morning, which cover a new appraisal system and adjustments for pupil-teacher ratios.
We're not cutting teacher numbers because the kids still exist, they're just at different schools. Kids will move between schools. Role growth or role decline is what the ratios are based on.
Labour is not convinced about the ratio adjustments or changes to teacher appraisals. Spokeswoman Nanaya Mahuta agrees the system does need to be strengthened, but she doesn't agree with performance-based pay.
In fact, if performance pay is tied to achievement, results, evidence shows that that will not work.
However, Patrick Walsh of the Secondary Principals Association of New Zealand told New Zealand's REMA that research does support the focus on quality.
What makes the difference for educational outcomes for students is the quality of the teacher before them, and further to that, the quality of the leadership that the principal.
Murray McCulley has confirmed the New Zealand Embassy in Stockholm will close. The office in Sweden's capital was opened in 2008 under Labour and downsized in 2009. The Foreign Minister says accompanying measures, including cheaper accommodation, will help save around $10 million a year. There's concern over media coverage of race relations following a recent argument on TVNZ's Close-Up over the asset sales hikoi. Commissioner Joris de Brez acknowledged conflict does make for entertaining news, but urged prudence.
But I think, we have to try, and particularly in the context of quite sensitive issues like race relations, there is room for some responsibility in this area.
The New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants has proposed a rule of one for small businesses. Its paper on simplifying business taxation suggests no more than 1 hour, one return and one payment each month for income tax and GST compliance for small companies. Revenue Minister Peter Dunn says the proposals will be considered. The bill to establish the environmental management regime for the exclusive economic zone passed its first reading, but now a select committee is split on whether it should pass as it is. Green MP Gareth Hughes insists there's too much wrong with the bill.
It puts our environment at risk. We're likely to see deep-sea oil rigs simply rubber stamped under this legislation if it passes.
Dairy farmers are bracing for an income cut. Prices at Fonterra's latest overnight dairy auction have dropped on average by 6%. ANZ Rural Bank economist Con Williams says that will affect the payout for the next season. New Zealand has recorded its lowest number of births in 5 years. New figures show there were 60,860 births in the year to the end of March, and that is over 2,300 fewer than the year before. To international news, Greece will hold a new election after coalition talks fell apart yesterday. The fresh round of voting follows a May 6th ballot that failed to elect a clear winner. The second election is expected to take place on June the 17th. And finally, the trial of former Bosnian Serb Army commander General Ratko Mladic begins today at a United Nations tribunal in The Hague. The 70-year-old is accused of ordering the massacre of around 8,000 men and boys outside the Bosnian city of Srebrenica and the siege of Sarajevo in the early 1990s. Well, those are the headlines from the RBG News team. Mauriora.